Hello again, and thanks for joining Savage Ecology. Today's video is a continuation of our overview on invasive species. For this discussion, we are going to focus on what you can do yourself to help against the harmful effects of them. Many of the resources we discuss will pertain to the state of Florida, and more specifically Northeast Florida. However, the principles will apply anywhere you live. If you missed the first video in the series, I'd recommend checking that out first, as it will give you a better understanding of what invasive species are and the threats they bring to our local ecosystems and economies. All right, everyone, let's dive in. First, just a quick review. Invasive species can be defined as any organism, plant, animal, or microorganism that is not native to the ecosystem and poses a threat to native species or the whole ecosystem. Remember, just because they aren't native doesn't necessarily mean they are classified as invasive. Posing a threat environmentally or economically is what makes them considered an invasive. In our last video, we highlighted a few of the more prominent problematic invasive species affecting Northeast Florida. Here we are looking at a list of some of the more notables in the area. As you can see, there is a wide range of species, including mammals, amphibians, reptiles, birds, fish, and even mollusks. While certainly not extensive, this shows you how complicated and extensive an issue of trying to track and combat against or control populations of invasive species can be. Additionally, this doesn't even include any of the smallest invasive problem causers, insects. As you could imagine, identifying, monitoring, and controlling invasive insects becomes an even further complicated issue. Here we are looking at some of the most problematic invasive plant species across Northeast Florida. It probably first jumps out to you how many are listed, and this is not complete by any stretch of the imagination. The sheer number of invasive plants makes them such a taxing, complex issue to tackle. They are also the ones that many people may not intuitively think of it as an issue. It is much easier to learn that feral hogs are problematic, and when you see one, you know they shouldn't be there. Far fewer people can look at a forested area on the side of a road and point out which plants should or shouldn't belong. Luckily, if you're wanting to help in reporting of sightings of invasives, there are many resources to help. Reporting and identifying invasive species has actually been made really easy and streamlined. EDDMaps is an organization that created a web-based reportings and mapping system database. Anyone in the US or Canada can use this platform to report sightings or to look up historical sighting data. Here in Florida, they created the I've Got One system, which is specific to Florida sightings but links back to the EDDMaps database. There are 3 easy ways to report sightings: through their website, I'veGotOne.org, their hotline, 1-888-I've-Got-One, or through the I've Got One smartphone app. The app is a really great tool in helping you identify whether a species is invasive or not. All you have to do is snap a photo of the plant or animal, and through its AI technology, it will tell you whether you should report it as an invasive species or not. It's really that simple, and there's no need to report elsewhere. Responding organizations like the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission are partners with EDDMaps and will receive the reporting details. Speaking of the FWC, they run a great program to assist fighting against the release of exotic pets into the wild. The exotic pet trade is a massive problem worldwide with many ethical concerns. It also is a major leading cause of expanding invasive species spread. If you own an exotic pet and no longer wish to care for it, please never release it into the wild. All you need to do is take advantage of FWC's Exotic Pet Amnesty Program. You can call or email them, and they will place your pet in a pre-approved home that will take over the care for the animal. If you are outside of Florida, check your local wildlife commission organizations for similar programs. In addition to simply reporting invasive species you find, you can make a change in your own backyard to make an impact. Transforming your yard from a monocultured blanket of grass or removing non-native shrubs and trees could go a long way to improving native biodiversity and helping prevent the spread of invasive species. Some main things you can do in re-landscaping is to make sure the plants you choose are not invasive to your region, and absolutely make sure they are not prohibited or on the noxious weed list. When choosing new plants, it's ideal and can be a joy to find native plants that attract local birds and pollinators. Your backyard can transform into a beautiful, lively place you'll get more enjoyment out of, and you'll also be helping maintain our local ecosystems. There are many resources available, such as through the Audubon Society, the Native Plant Trust, and the Florida Invasive Species Council, among many, many others that can help you identify what plants to avoid and what plants are ideal for your specific region. You can truly craft a wonderful, beautiful yard while also helping native biodiversity thrive. That's it for the series, folks. Thank you so much for checking out the first couple videos of Savage Ecology. Please stay tuned for further installments, and remember to think ecologically.